That's fine. Hi everyone, welcome to this YouTube live. So what's the topic of this video? So how can you get a job in IT? How can you get your first job in IT in the next no more than 5 months? Now this is something that not that many people believe that can happen. Like many people end up going through a degree, right? A bachelor's degree. Or probably they end up going through some type of boot camp, some type of program, that it's 6, 9 months, probably 1 year. And on top of that, they end up paying a ton of money, right? Like a bachelor's degree can cost you probably between 40 to probably $80,000, a 4 year degree. Same thing, well, almost same thing with the program, right? Many programs out there, they're probably charging you about $10,000, $20,000. Now, how can you get a job in IT in the next no more than 5 months? I'm gonna show you on exactly how can you do that, okay? So if I were you, I will write things down because I'm not gonna hold anything back. And this is based on what would I do me right now, because we're going through like a really bad economy. Like things are not that great right now. And you probably noticed this, that like prices been going up and up. So you getting an entry level job in IT, it's not gonna cut it, you know. And I will tell you this, and let me know, by the way, where you from, and let me know if you already have a job in IT, or let me know if you're looking into probably get your first job in IT. Probably you are in the process, And I'm gonna go on your comments. So I see Oscar, and I see a few other people. So again, make sure you take notes because I'm not going to hold anything back in the next 30 minutes, because I'm going to walk you through on exactly what would I do me if I had to start my IT career all over again, and for me to get a good job in IT in the next no more than 5 months. And if I were you, again, I will take notes because everything that I'm going to say, it's based in on a process. So this is not for you. Well, I'm going to do some of that, but I'm not going to do these other things. No, you have to do everything that I'm going to go through. Okay. That way you end up getting your first job in IT in the next no more than 5 months, regardless of where you are right now. You're probably thinking, probably that's for someone that has already a bachelor's degree, or probably someone that has some type of background in IT. No, this works regardless of where you are right now. Jorge, I don't even know what's an IP address. I don't even know how two computers communicate to one another. I don't know none of that. I don't even know what the hell is a wireless router that I have at home. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. So I see someone from Mexico. Oh, that's great. I want to get into a higher paying job. If you can tell me more about it, what job do you have right now? I can probably give you some advice on that. I have my CCNA, but I've been applied to jobs and they want experience. There we go. You see, that's my point. That's exactly my point. There are many jobs, right, out there, like hundreds, thousands of jobs out there. But you still have hundreds, thousands of people without a job. That should tell you something, right? And that's why, because many people go through their IT career and they end up doing things they're not supposed to do because they go based on what the IT community condition them to do, or guiding them to do, or advise them to do. Like, this is how you need to go through your IT career. This is exactly what you need to do. And then you better get this, you have to do this as well. And then you end up with no job. That's exactly what's happening. And yes, I'm going to tell you, Mario, about that membership, okay? Because I have news about that. But right now, in the next 20 minutes, okay, I want to really get you to think of what can be possible for you. Really, how can you get your first job in IT in the next no more than 5 months? And to make sure that job, it's not an entry-level job, okay? Because that's exactly what many people end up doing. They end up getting an entry-level job in IT. And how the economy is right now, that's not good. And you getting a job that's going to pay you $40,000. That's like about, I don't know, like what, $20, $22 per hour? It's not going to cut it, right? Or a job that can probably pay you $50,000. I mean, I don't think that's a good income based on how the economy is right now. You see, you need a good job that's gonna pay you well, a job that's gonna pay you between $60,000 to $75,000. That's exactly what you need, and that's for you, okay? If you getting your first job in IT, and I get it. I know many people may think of it like, well, Jorge, I mean, it's not the same pay rate, Chicago compared to probably, I don't know, Alabama. Well, it's not the same pay rate, if you go to California compared to probably, I don't know, Oregon. It doesn't matter. Why? Because many of those jobs you could probably end up getting them remote. You see, that's my point, that you probably have ideas, you have beliefs that are exactly holding you back right now. And I'm here to tell you that you have options, and I'm here to tell you what can be possible for you. And this is not just based on me. This is based on the results that many of my students got. They follow this process. They end up getting the results. Those results are getting a good job in IT, not an entry-level job. And it took 4, 5, 6 months the most. Okay? So number one, and again, be open-minded, because I know probably I'm going to go and say something that may go against on what most people say. Go against what most people advise you to do. The difference here, that this process works. Okay? So now let me go through some comments, and I'm going to walk you through, and I'm going to tell you, right now I'm going to go with number one. And again, okay, let's say me, I'm going to start my IT career all over again, right? So that means I'm going to go all the way back from zero, no knowledge, nothing in IT, right? So what would I do in order for me to get my first job in IT in the next 4 months, okay? Now that I know better, now that I help a lot of people to do that. So number one, let's talk about number one. Number one is the process of learning how to learn. And this is something that I've been telling a lot of people for the last 2 years, okay? Because let me tell you something. The way that you end up learning any technical topic matters, okay? The way that you end up learning any technical topic matters. That's the reason why many people, even though they end up getting some CompTIA certifications, or maybe they end up getting their Cisco CCNA or some others, right? They cannot get a job. Why? Because they sound, hear me out, they sound like everyone else. Because obviously you're going to end up going through the job interview process. And at one point, they're going to ask you a few technical questions, right? And more likely, you're going to end up answering those questions like everyone else. You're probably thinking, I end up answering all those 5 questions right. Yes, just like everyone else. So again, how are you going to differentiate yourself from everyone else, right? So a lot of it has to do on how you end up learning the technical topics. That matters a lot. So if I were you, because that's exactly what I will do, I will take a week, maybe 2, maybe the entire month. And the first thing that I will do, I will focus on just that, okay? On the process of learning how to learn. That's exactly the first thing my students get access to when they go through my coaching program. Why? Because that makes a huge difference. If you're going to go and you go and learn probably the things that you're learning right now, that like the way that everyone else does, it's not going to help you at all. It's not going to help you. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to probably, you're not going to like it. But if you cannot create scenarios, if you cannot have conversations with other people related to technical topics, and if you cannot storytell, that means that you don't know shit. That's how it is, and that's the truth. That's why many people cannot get a job in IT, because they end up, again, doing everything that everyone else does, okay? Now, before I go on step number 2, okay, but that's step number 1. My focus for a week, maybe the entire month, will be on, I'm going to focus on the process of learning how to learn, because I need to know how the mind works, how the mind learns information, how the mind processes information. That way, when I go and learn any technical topic, when I want to get that one IT certification that I want to get, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go through that content in a way that's going to really help me. Not for me just to consume content, for me to consume knowledge, because that will get you nowhere. You know how many people are right now in IT? They know a lot. They end up getting a ton of IT certifications, and they do not have a high-paying job in IT. They don't. Why? Because their main focus was to consume a ton of content, a ton of information, right? And that's not how it works. So if you go on YouTube, right, and you end up listening to all these YouTubers, they're gonna bombard you with a ton of content, right? Now you're gonna end up all over the place. You need to know exactly what you need in order for you to go from point A to point B. And right now, me, if I have to start my IT career all over again, then for me to get my first job in the next 4 months, they will pay me between $60,000 to $75,000. That will be for me to focus on the process of learning how to learn. That's exactly what you need to focus the most. That's exactly. You go through my coaching program, you do not get to any technical videos. The first 2 weeks, you don't. The first thing you do on week number 1, you go through the process of learning how to learn. I teach you that. Why? Because that matters. They are high-paying skills. They will allow you for you to differentiate yourself from everyone else. One of them, that's it. The process of learning how to learn. And I'm going through this again and again and again because that's exactly what's going to make a difference for you in your IT career. Okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, let's go with number 2. Okay? So again, number 1, you know what that is. Let's go on number 2. Number 2, let's go on number 2. Okay. So number 2. Okay, now that I know about the process of learning how to learn, right? Now I really need to work on the inner game, mindset. Now you're probably saying, what the hell is this, Jorge? I thought you were going to teach me how to get a job in IT. I'm doing that. And let me tell you something, okay? And this is a story that I tell all of my students. How is that possible, right? In 2.5 years, 2.5 years, right? I had 3 students. And that period of time, right? I ended up getting 3 students and a week or 2 of difference, right? They end up going through this process. 2 of them didn't have a job in IT or any job at all. Okay, one of them was getting out of the army. The other one just didn't have a job. And the other one, yes, had a job. Now, 2.5 years later, one of them earning $160,000. The other one is still on the first job he got in IT, going through my process. And the other one, about 80K. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? You have 3 people going through the same process. You got 3 people learning the same principles, going through the same method and how to get their first job in IT. The 3 of them, in a matter of a week or 2, the 3 of them end up getting their first job in IT. And they were getting between 60 to 70K first job in IT. But how is that? 2.5 years later, one of them won 60,000. Another one, same job. Yeah, I helped them to get the first job, and he decided to be stuck on that one job. But then I have another one that was kind of in between, about $80,000. Why? Because a lot of it has to do with what's going on here, that inner game. I know right now you have stories going through your mind. This is BS. That's no one they can get a job in IT in 4 months. You know, Jorge? Yeah, that's a scam. I know the other day you end up doing a video about this guy, an 18-year-old, getting a job in IT. He just got out of high school, and he ended up getting a good job, by the way, not an entry-level job, no help desk, not like that, again, an entry-level job. He ended up getting an IT support position. How did he do that? Right? Now, for those of you, that's BS. You see, that's a story. You need to be open. Maybe the beliefs you have and what can be possible, that's exactly what's holding you back. That's exactly why you don't have a high-paying job in IT. Okay? So let's go through some of the comments. I got the CCNA book due to your advice. You do not get a CCNA book. I will never advise someone to get a book, ever, in IT, and not for the CCNA. And I will tell you many reasons on why that is. Okay, since you're working as a support technician, no certs, no degree, 2750K. Just an it when it was a disaster. I wasn't prepared. It's not that you wasn't prepared. It's that you don't know how to go through the process. How is that you've been working in IT for 6 years and you're getting paid $27 an hour? Like, I don't get that. You see, that has to do with mindset. That has nothing to do with the skills. That has nothing to do with what you know, what you don't know. That has to do with mindset. If that here don't change, you're not gonna look for the information that's gonna make a difference for you. You're not gonna go and learn the skills that will allow you to for you to become more valuable to the marketplace. And by the way, I'm not talking about technical skills, because you have a lot of retards out there, right? They think they know all these topics and all these IT certifications, but they don't have a high-paying job in IT. And then you're taking advice from them. Not good. So step number 2, right? Step number 2, you have to work on those conversations, going through your mind, the stories, because you really need to see yourself and be like, okay, I see people that are making things happen. So that means that can happen to me as well. So if Jorge is saying that I can get a job in IT in the next 4 months, yes, that means it can happen to me. I just need to follow the process on how to do that, not based on how everyone else is going through it. So I need you to be open, but you really need to work on your inner game. If not much is going to change outside. I remember one of my coaches told me once when I was going through this process with him. I'm like, it's kind of funny when people want a better life, more opportunities, more income. They want a better lifestyle. And what they do, they look for something outside of themselves. In this case, IT. People think that for them to get the results they want, the income, the opportunities, that job, oh, I need to get that one IT certification. Or you know what? I need to get those 2 IT certifications. Or you know what? I'm going to end up and get my bachelor's degree. And then they go and do that. And they don't have the result, that job, that income, those opportunities. Why? You see, people don't question what they do. Are you questioning what you're doing right now? Are you questioning what you end up doing probably last week? Because probably a lot of the things that you end up doing are not helping you for you to really get what you want, what you know it can be possible for you, right? So once again, a lot of it has to do with the inner game. That's the second thing my students go through. And some of them be like, Jorge, I don't need to go through this. I went through this coaching because I want you to teach me that CCNA. I want you to teach me that technical. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to do that. But that's not on this week. That's not on this module. That's next. But right now, let's focus on what's going to matter the most. Why? Because my objective is for you to get a high-paying job in IT sooner than later. Not for you to go through your IT career like most people do. They've been working in IT for 3, 6, 7, 10 years. And they're not close to get to a high-paying job in IT, even though there are many opportunities out there, because it's not just about IT certifications, okay? Now, let's go on number 3, okay? What's number 3? So going back on my list, right? I'm going to go back on my list. So remember, right? Number 1, you have to focus on the process of learning how to learn. Number 2, you have to focus on the inner game. That has to change, okay? If not, no bueno. Like me going through my IT career, right? Thinking, that's no way because I'm a high school dropout. I don't have not even a GD. That's the truth, okay? So going through my IT career, I'm thinking, if I only get a job that's going to pay me $20 an hour in IT, I'm good. I'm good. I can have a okay life, a good life. Me being able to get to 100,000? Hell no. That's not for me. That's for people that are very well educated. They have a bachelor's degree, but not for people like me. I'm barely able to speak English, right? It's just not going to happen. So you think it was an issue related to what I can learn outside and the IT traffic? No, it was all based on the inner game and what was going on here, right? Even though I wanted more money, even though I wanted more opportunities, even though I wanted a better style for me and for my family, I couldn't make that happen because everything was really fucked up inside here, that inner game. So when that changed, now you look for the resources, you see, not the answer that's going to get you there. No, the resources that will help you for you to get there. Because once again, this is something I tell everyone. You need to become someone that you are not. What that means, you have to let go of who you are right now, because that person who you are right now, the way that you think, the way that you do things, the things that you know will get you only so far everything that you got up to this point, nothing new. So in order for you to get to a better destination, you need to become someone that you are not. And that's going through that coaching program, right? That's exactly what the students go through. How to become that person that will get you that life that you know you can have. You know, when that changed for me, my income went up. The opportunities in IT went up. I ended up doing my own business many years back, and I had the business for about 5 years. And I decided, you know what? Let me kind of go back again in IT. But I was doing some consulting. I was even teaching classes related to IT and this business that I had. But why? Because everything inside changed. And that's at that point when I ended up learning a lot of high-paid skills. Because that's exactly what's going to allow you for you to differentiate yourself from everyone else. Okay? So now let's go with number 3, CCNA. CCNA. I know many people focus on, okay, I'm going to go through my IT career. I'm going to start my IT career, and I'm going to go through CompTIA certifications, because that's exactly what everyone tells me, right? I need to get my CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and plus, right? You don't do that. You don't do that. Okay? I don't care. Again, you may not know nothing about networking. You may not know nothing about IT. You go and you get your Cisco CCNA, but you get it the right way. You do not go through some videos, just go through a fucking book, or probably memorize the questions, because that's exactly what most people do. They end up memorizing the questions. No, you don't do that. You do not do that. You need to go through the topics and learn the topics the right way, in a way that you can create scenarios, in a way that you can create stories. And not for you to be one of those guys that come out with technical definitions, right? Like I can come up to you. Maybe some of you may know this, right? Technical question. If I come up to you and I ask you, can you tell me what's an IP address? And you probably, I can tell you all about it. An IP address, they work on the layer 3 of the OSMR, the network layer. We have 2 versions, IP version 6, IP version 4. We have this, we have that, we have public, private, blah, 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 blah. And that's exactly what everyone else is going to say. Why? Because you didn't find a way to storytell the question to an answer. A storytell. You see? So what does that mean? When you are going through the study, the Cisco CCNA, you have to find a way to study that one skill, a storytelling. But you see, no one in IT teach you that. Everyone is based on, this is the next topic that you need to learn, Linux. No, my bad. This is the next topic that you need to learn, hacking, right? Everyone is teaching hacking right now. Why? Because it's a buzzword. It's trending. But many people go and end up learning a few things related to hacking. For what? They don't have a high-paying job in IT. And because they learn that, they're not going to get a job. Even though they want to get a job or they want to get a better one in IT, they end up not getting that. Why? Because they focus too much on things they're not supposed to. And that's a problem for many people. So in this case, focus on the CCNA, but you have to go through the topics the right way. This is why, right? Going to number 1, you need to know how to process information. When you go through a video, when you go through a book, when you do research online, when you do labs, you need to know how to do that. You need to know how to learn from that. Like if I come up to you and I ask you, and you're probably going through a book, or you're probably going through a few videos on Udemy, on YouTube, or some other website, right? And I ask you, can you tell me what you're doing? You're going to be, I'm studying. I'm like, okay. Where are you studying? Oh, I'm studying this topic. I'm like, okay. Well, I'm going through this book. I'm like, okay. How are you doing that? Like, what do you mean? Yeah. How are you doing that? How are you going through that video? What do you mean? I'm just, what do you mean? I push play, I focus, and I take notes. I'm like, that's what you're doing when you're going through videos? You focus, you pay attention to, and you take notes? Yeah. Like, really? Like, really? That's the way that you study? That's the way that you process information? That's the way that you learn? Like, really? You see, that's exactly what most people do. All bad. Right? And I'm here to tell you that's a better way how to do that. When I realized that, my career changed. I was able to go through information a lot faster. I was able to recall information, and I was able to sell it. I was able to storytell it. I was able to create scenarios and put people through those scenarios when I was talking to those people. Right? That way they can think of me that I can get the job done. People don't know how to do that. People don't know how to do that. And that's exactly what gets you the fucking job. I'm telling you, there's a lot of BS that you're right probably now following because you have a ton of people in IT giving you so much advice and guidance on what to do, what not to do. And if you think about it, right, and if you really stop yourself and you look who's giving you that advice, most of them don't have a high-paying job in IT. They don't. And some of them, they're probably on the same boat as you. They're just basically repeating what they got from the IT community, and you never question it, ever. I'm telling you, ever. A storytelling is how you do it, not stacking certifications. Yeah, that's this guy asked me. Okay, so I have this guy said, $2,000 is too much. Yeah, it's too much for some people, but think about it, right? If I ask those students, they end up getting a high-paying job in IT. I see one of my students, Miguel, here. He can tell you all about a lot of the students, but too much. Really? Too much? Fucking a college degree? How much? $40,000? Those programs that promise you all this for $10,000, $20,000? Like, really? I think it's too much to be broke. I think that's bad. Being able to probably have a family and not be able to afford the things they need. Not what they want, okay? They need. Millions of people are going through this right now. They cannot afford the things they need. Not the things they want, the things they need. And $2,000 that can change your life, really expensive? Bro, you're in the wrong group. You're in the light YouTube channel, man. You should go somewhere else, So yes. So that's how it works, okay? So I will go and get my CCNA the right way. And then I will focus on storytelling. I will focus on marketing. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean marketing? That has nothing to do with IT. Oh, it has to do a lot with IT. The way that you market yourself, okay? And also how you're going to be able to sell yourself. How you're going to go through the entire job intro process and getting that job. And I know probably a lot of you question, how you going to get a job, your first job in IT, that job being an entry-level job, even though they ask for experience. There is a way. It's all about the psychology behind going through that process. It will take me not an hour, hours, okay? Hours for me to kind of walk you through and tell you that, okay? So I don't think it's a scam because the HR has rules, and if you know what they want to hear you, hire, doesn't matter your background. Yeah, at the end of the day, I was studying for a CCNA, CC12. I felt lost. They have so many videos. Yes, bootcamps charge as much as $15,000. Thank you. And they are a bunch of BS. Exactly. Reach out to me. I can guide you through the process. Ivan Garcia Ramos, no charge. So Ivan Garcia, it says, I can charge you, no charge. Reach out to that guy. Probably he has something going on. Who knows? Ivan Garcia. I would love to more about your career, your lifestyle, how much money you make, how many people have you helped. That will be useful. So going back on that conversation, okay? So once again, let me go back here. So you have 4 to 6 months, right there, 4 to 6 months. And by the way, you have to do about 20 hours a week, 16 to 20 hours in order for you to make this happen in the next 4 months. And I know for many people, it's like too much. It's like, Jorge, I don't even have like 5 hours, and you're asking me for me to do like 16, 20 hours. Again, not that many people can get a high-paying job in IT. Not that many people can get a good job in IT in 4 months. And I'm asking you for you to go through some sacrifices for you to be able to get a good job that will pay you 60 to 75K in the next 4 months. And you don't have 16, 20 hours a week. Really? Like, really? You see, that's mindset. Now that's a story like, oh, I don't have that much time. So that means you don't want that back, that income, that lifestyle. Like for me, IT changed my life financially. I will tell you that. Many opportunities out there, okay? Hello, this is my first time seeing your channel, and I'm currently working on my Security Plus. This is going to be my first IT cert. Are the opportunities out there for Network Plus? If I can work 46 hours per week, I will get in 2 months. No, you cannot do in 2 months because it's too much you have to learn. It's like me saying, okay, I'm gonna go to this 5K run marathon, right? And let's say I never run in my life, but you know this 5K run, it's in 2 weeks from now. It's not gonna happen, even though I may go to the gym like 3-4 times a day. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be able to condition my body in order for me to run a 5K marathon. It's just not gonna happen. It's the same thing here. There are things you have to learn throughout the process, and some of those things takes time for you to learn, for you to condition yourself on doing. So I would probably say 3 months. So I'm not lie to you. I would probably say 3 months. Okay. Now, hello, sir. 90K a good salary? No, it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. You know, right now, the other day someone come up to me and say, you know, Jorge, I'm earning 100K. I'm like, that's great, but that's not a high-paying job in IT. What do you mean? It's 6 figures. Yeah, it's 6 figures. But have you looked at the prices out there? How all the prices going up? All of them. You know, you go groceries, you go to your favorite restaurant, everyone, like every place, prices going up. 100K, it's not gonna cut it. Like for you to be good, I will say 120K. 120K. You know, and if I were you, I would go from 90K to 120K in 3 months, 4 months. If you know how to do that, do it. Because I mean, students have done that. They go from 80, 90K to 110, 20, 130K. I'm telling you, okay? No, you see, that's mindset right there. It's mindset. Wow, I thought 90K was a decent salary. No, it's not. It's not. 90K, you see, having that mindset is going to stop you. Like, really, it's going to stop you for you to go and get more, okay? I'm going to answer that question right now. Albert, let me go on the next on the other question that I was going through. You know, it's kind of funny when people say, you know, I can help you. Like, really. Sergio, where can I look for reviews from your program? Really? So that's okay. I get it. You know, I have a student here. Wait, I have 2 students here probably in this live. If any, Nate. Oh, I see Nate here. Nate, can you? Nate, how long you been with on the coaching program? Nate paid the 2,000. Nate paid the 2,000, and a lot of you probably thinking, "Oh my God, why did you end up doing that? That's horrible." You know, this guy is scamming you. You know, hearing from Nate. Nate, tell him how long you been with me, and tell me so far how you like about it. I've been here since June. Thank you, since June. Just tell me more about it, okay? I would like to go from 100K to 110. So I'm telling, like, you can go and go with whoever you want. Just find someone that can really help you. I will not be here telling you that I can help you when I can't not help you. You know, and this I'm gonna show you a text, and this is only for those that have a job in IT, a good job in IT. So if you're earning about $80,000, $90,000, 100K, let me show you a text, okay? Let me show you a text. Give me a second here. Cancel, yes, cancel. Now, why am I showing you this one? That way you can see, okay? There we go, right here. Let's see, I'm starting with July. Okay, I went to start with July. How are you? I want to share with there. And it's funny because I know many of you are looking into the name, and you're gonna find her on Facebook, and you're gonna reach out to her, and you're gonna like basically like, hey, this is true. But right there, she was earning 100K. She got the experience, and she knew a lot. And I'm like, what would you like to happen next? Oh, if not, can get something that's 120, 30 or something. I'm like, based on what you know, we can get something that's gonna pay you more than 140K. Really? Let's do it. Trust the process. Do everything I'm gonna ask you to. Few months later, 165K. 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 Okay. Now Sergio asks, you found a job, Nate, from the training program? Sergio, are you not reading what the Nate is saying? He just got in late June. It's about 2 months into it. Oh, you see, I had someone, they didn't study me really inside, but, right? I'm a student from Ivan. Good, man. Love it. I'm 26, stuck with 85K a year. How do I make that next step? I'm thinking I need a degree. Bro, you don't need a degree. Fernando, if you work in IT, let me know more about your position, okay? I'm telling you, okay? So Fernando, if you're like earning 80, man, I really wish that I was earning 85K, man, when I was 26. You know, I think when I was 26, I was probably earning $35, and that will be about 70K. Oh, it's close by. But man, you can go from the 85K to 110, 120K in 4 months, 4 months, 4 months, 4 months. Okay. Okay. So I have another student. I have a few students here. Wow. And by the way, guys, I only have 5 minutes because I'm not lying. I have a meeting with my students 9 p.m. I'm 22, network specialist. I have my CCNA week. College. I'm out to 60K in the next few months. I 100K just more stressful than every role looking for my mental health. I know that's the same thing. You know, it's the same thing. Many people may not be like, no, but 4 minutes. Yes, I have 4 minutes left because I need to jump to my coaching call with my group. Yeah, bachelor's degree will not cut it. You know, I have someone that reached out to me saying, well, a few people, Jorge, I have a bachelor's degree, I get a job in IT. I'm like, let me tell you something. It's not just you. There are hundreds of people out there. They have a bachelor's degree and don't have a job in IT. And obviously, you're not going to find that many on social media because, well, you say, hey, guys, I end up getting my bachelor's degree. Anyone can help me to get a job in IT. I will be embarrassed, right? Like, shit, I have a bachelor's degree. Can I get a job in IT? I'm not going to post that on social media. So you see, only people want to say like just good things and what's going on in their life, right? In social media. But there's many of them. And I know because people reach out. And Jorge, I end up getting my bachelor's degree. Well, I'm about to get it. I'm trying to get a job in IT. It's not happening. I applied. It's been weeks. It's been months. I'm like, again, you are not the only one. The problem is that you end up going through the process the same way that everyone else did. And that's no way on how can you differentiate yourself from everyone else. Because you're going to end up doing the same things that everyone else is going to do when you go through the job interview process. And obviously, you are not the only one, right? You're probably one out of the 10 candidates going through the same process. So how they're going to remember you, right? So a lot of it is how you're going to go based on the psychology behind it and how you're going to basically become a very effective communicator. And many people don't know how to do that. Unfortunately, not that many people know how to do that, okay? So yeah, how can I get in touch with you? How can you get in touch with you? I can put the link and go through the details if you want. This is for anyone that wants to go through the details. It's right there. And by the way, if you take the time to read that page, if you take the time to read it, you're gonna learn a lot from it because now you know what you need to focus on. If you decided, I don't want to go through you, Jorge, I want to kind of do it on my own. On that page, on that coaching page, that's exactly what you need to do, regardless if you want to do this on your own. That's the skills you need to learn, how to go about it, and why. Go through that page, and you're gonna be like, okay, so now I need to focus on this, and focus on this. Now, I will tell you something right now, and you have to give me 1 minute. You see? Right there. So I'm on call, guys. That's one of the things that you have when you are in IT. So this week I'm on call. So I just got a page about an issue. If you just give me 1 minute, I'm gonna log in and I'm gonna acknowledge that issue. Let's see. I know some people say, you know, Jorge, do you still work in IT? I'm like, yes, I still have a job, a full-time job, because obviously I want to be in the trenches, you know, like that way I can provide you more content. So your advice got me from 15 to 2 years ago, 85K. You see, Fernando, now you come with me, man, and I work on one-on-one with you, on one-on-one, not just like just on one-on-one calls with you. I can exactly guide you what you need to do in order for you to go from the 85 to 110. At least 110, man, at least in 3-4 months. Now, let me acknowledge this incident, what we call the group. Because if I don't acknowledge that, then I'm going to have someone calling me saying, hey, this is what's going on. You need to acknowledge the ticket, the incident. So let me do that. So yes, guys, this week I'm on call. So let's see what's the issue. I've been working on this. I'm working the happening all around the tool. The day networking can run the network, but really there is server outside. No, she's connected to sending the ticket to someone's in their server team, and it's a SAMC issue LD2. Amira, Amira. Okay. Server link issue. Okay, I'll probably look at that later. Okay, guys, I have to go because I have another call. Thank you for sharing knowledge with him, 7 up to join your program. Mario, just reach out to me, man. We can probably work something out. Just reach out to me, because I really want to help out. How many hours in full-time job, Jorge? How many hours is a full-time job, Jorge? I work 40 hours. That's a full-time job, right? The blueprint class is a good first start. Yeah, okay, I will look into it. So left one, no. Okay, I really have to go, guys. But listen, for those of you that join, 4 months it takes. Really, Nate, can you just put on the group that I'm gonna be sharing the link now on the group and the coaching group, please? That way, because I know students are waiting for me to join. So the last thing before I go, for those of you that end up joining, okay? It takes 4 months, guys. For those of you that are new in IT, it takes 4 months. 4 months in IT. 4 months for you to get a job in IT. And for you to get a job, it's not an entry-level job. A good job in IT, a job that's going to pay you 60 to 75K. Do not believe any BS or none of that, that you need to get an entry-level job, that you need a boot camp, that you need a bachelor's degree, that you need a ton of IT certifications. You do not need none of that. And again, this is not me. That's students that have accomplished this, many of them. So you do not need that. You can make that happen in 4-5 months. Okay? Number one, to remind you, take a week, take 2, take 3 weeks. Focus on the process of learning how to learn. Find out more about how the mind learns, how the mind processes information. That way, when you get to the technical videos, you end up going through the technical videos in a way that you're going to be able to learn that information, consume that information in a way that can help you, in a way that you can storytell, in a way that you can create scenarios about it, and a way that you can make conversations about it. Like if I ask you, can you teach me what's an IP address right now? What would you say? I know that you're going to come up with a technical lecture and you're going to bore me to hell like many people do in YouTube, right? You have to teach me that to a conversation. How will you do that? How will you do that? Based on a conversation. How? And again, I'm new. How can I get what you're saying and be able for me to engage with you and you teach me that one topic? You see, most people in IT cannot do that. Why? Because they were unable to learn the information the right way. That's a way on how to learn. That's a way on how to study. So that's number one. Number two, obviously, number two is work on you. You need to become someone that you are not. You need to become someone that you are not. Okay? You need to become someone that you are not. Okay? And number three, then Cisco CCNA the right way. Learn about the storytelling. Learn about marketing. Learn about sales. Learn about position. I mean, that's many things kind of in between. And combine all of them, that allows you for you to go through that job interview process and get the job. You know, it's each one of them on top of the next one. But I really hope that you really take my word for it and really do something about it. You know, you can do that through me. You can do this on your own. It's up to you. The difference in you this on your own, you can make it happen. But that may take more time for you to make it happen. Right? So, guys, I really have to go. I have to take care of two things, that call and this call at work. Okay? Got here late, man, just like my last interview. I didn't sign up yet. Okay, guys, have to go. Thanks for watching, and I will do another live probably by the end of this week. So make sure you subscribe. That way you get that notification. Have a good night, guys. And I really wish you the best in your IT career. Because with me, let me tell you something. With me here, I make sure that I'm going to give you the value needed for you to not just go and get a high-paying job in IT, because I really want to help you for you to change your life. Okay? Bye, guys. Good night.